Earlier this year, I took the Timmy Bago on a trip north of the border to sunny Scotland. In the last episode, I took you on a tour of some of Skye's most amazing natural sights. However, this day was a cloudy one on Skye as I hiked from Sligachan Bridge to the peak of Sgurr. I got tricked by the mountain. I pondered one of life's big questions. And would the clouds clear for the promised panoramic views at the peak?
Absolutely stunning. Well, good morning. Welcome back to Sligachan Bridge. And I'm doing this from inside the van because it is windy as heck out there this morning. It was supposed to be blue skies, a beautiful day, but it's been windy and squally, rainy. So I've been sat here in the van with this amazing view of the bridge. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. But watching the rain hammer down this morning, I don't know. I think we're through the worst of it. So we are going to get on with this hike today. But chances are I'm not going to be talking too much because audio problems are going to be there. So let's get on with it. It's not the highest peak on the island, but apparently it's got incredible 360-degree views. And that's what we're going for, so let's get on.
And I headed out onto the trail. It's 12 kilometres out and 12 kilometres back. Pointy Masco Peak ahead and the cloud-covered Sgurr on the right. The other side of that range are the fairy pools which I visited yesterday. I'll link that in the top corner now. It was about this point on the trail where I started to consider the differences between this hike and yesterday's hike to the fairy pools. The biggest one is the human connection piece. I'd seen about half a dozen people on the trail that morning and said hello to every single one of them. Hello. And stopped to have a little chat with at least 2 or 3. Whereas at the fairy pools yesterday, I probably saw 300 to 400 people. Do you know how many I said hello to? 0. And that's not anyone's fault, it's just too many people. You can't say hello to 300 to 400 people in a few hours, that would be weird. It's just not normal. So I've been building a theory around this called the courtesy coefficient, and it's basically a ratio. As the number of people you see per hour increases, the chances of interaction decreases. And it's neither good nor bad, it's just those bucket list places that are easily accessible and spectacular. You just don't get the human connection in those types of locations. Whereas places like this, everybody welcomes a friendly face on the trail, you have common ground, information to share, and it's just nice to stop and chat for a few minutes. My ideal zone is a courtesy coefficient of between 1 and 0.5, where people are infrequent enough that you'll speak to at least half of them. What would be your ideal zone? Let me know in the comments. As I got to the halfway point, the conditions were constantly changing. The winds were pushing the clouds off some of the mountains, others were still covered, but importantly, the peak I was headed to still looked clear.
It's getting steep, baby! Well, just sheltering in here behind this bank next to the stream. Weather's taking a turn for the worse. The wind's obviously a bit blustier up here the higher you get, and there's a bit of rain coming in as well now, but not far to go until we get up to that peak, and I'm hoping we get just a tiny break in the weather. Although, to be honest, the views look incredible anyway, so not far to go.
And as I hiked onwards, eyes on the peak, my map app was saying there's 3 kilometres to go. Then as I came up, over the saddle, I realised I'd been taken in by the oldest trick in the book, the false peak.
How beautiful! Made it to the top, and in a rare bout of preparedness, actually had some lunch with me today as well. And in terms of places that I've had lunch in my life, this has got to be one of the prettiest, I'd say. Absolutely stunning. And if we'd had a crystal clear blue day, then we wouldn't have had these incredible light patches that are just dancing off the ocean. So pretty. And of course, layers straight on. As soon as I got up here, even though I'm sheltered from the wind where I am, as soon as I stop and get cold very, very quickly. And in fact, I am actually a little bit cold now, so let's get heading back down. Race you back to the van. Let's go. What is this? I've never seen nothing like that. Right, back at the van, what you need almost immediately is some sugar to replenish those lost stocks. And I've got these. And they are delicious. Look how moist that is. Oh, so good. Oh, it's a bit like a mince pie. Oh, so good. So, I have takeaway Chinese, as you can see. I went for Chinese, but then I decided I wanted fish and chips, and when I went to the fish and chip shop, they only took cash. So I went back to the Chinese. It turns out they only took cash as well, so I came back to the van to get the cash, but then went back to the fish and chip shop, which had shut in the time that it took me to get the cash. So I went back to the Chinese to pay in cash, and now I've got Chinese. Cool story, huh?
Do all the good stuff, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode where I explore Skye's Trotternish Peninsula.